All right, I'll say good day to all. We will begin this transmission by reminding you that it is titled The Relationship Between Fear and Power. We have discussed many ideas about how you can relate to the concept of fear when you experience it. We have reminded you that it is often the product of filtering your energy through negative belief systems. And because belief systems are designed to perpetuate themselves, we have talked about the idea of how negative beliefs may use fear to prevent you from letting them go as a form of perpetuating themselves. To make it seem worse to let them go, they will often amplify the fear in your attempt to divest yourself of these negative beliefs, so that again, making it seem as if something worse will happen by letting them go, by amplifying, magnifying the fear that you feel, that you experience during the process of attempting to let them go. And we have talked about the ability to understand that because that's what's happening, that you can realize that the stronger the fear, the closer you are to letting go of that negative belief, because then the negative belief is working that much harder by amplifying the fear to prevent you from moving forward in the direction that you prefer. But now let us talk about the idea of the energy itself. Remember, the most important thing in this particular idea is to understand that the only energy you ever feel is your own. We understand that in your reality, in your space-time reality, in the illusion of physical reality, it can often seem as if you're experiencing energy coming from another person or some other outside source. And while it may be true that a person may give off an energy, or an outside source may transmit energy in a variety of ways, the only way you can actually experience what they are transmitting is to match the frequency of that energy out of your own energy. And that's how you experience the idea that energy is coming from somewhere else to you. So in a sense, you cannot really be influenced or impacted by anyone else's energy unless you decide, either consciously or unconsciously, with your fear-based beliefs or whatever beliefs, to match that frequency in your own energy, thus creating a mirror, a reflection, a simulation, so to speak, of the energy coming to you from elsewhere, by mirroring it so closely that you feel it within your own energy. You match that frequency and have that experience that is representative of the energy coming to you. But again, you can't feel it until you match it. So your energy is the only energy you ever experience. Therefore, understand that when you experience fear on any level, to any degree, in any amount, you are experiencing your own energy being used to create a vibration that matches the concept of negativity, of disconnection, dissociation, disempowerment. Not that you can ever really be disempowered, but you are matching the frequency of the concept of disempowerment, which you can create. But please remember that in order to have an experience of disconnection and disempowerment, you actually have to be connected and empowered in order to create those disconnected and disempowering experiences. So the idea is to remember that you're always empowered. You cannot really be disempowered, because if you were really disconnected, really disempowered from creation, from all that is, you wouldn't be able to have any experience at all. So the fact that you may experience fear doesn't mean you're truly disempowered. It means simply that your power is being used to create a certain frequency that is representative of disconnection or disempowerment, but isn't actually disempowerment. So when you feel fear, allow yourself a moment to remember that you are feeling your own energy at a certain frequency. It's no one else's energy. It's not coming from anyone else or any other source. Even though others may attempt to send it to you, what you experience is coming from you. So when you feel the energy that you are, the power that you have in the form of fear, the stronger the fear, paradoxically, the more you are put in touch with how powerful you are. So we are now in this transmission encouraging you to make an association in your mind, in your belief system, between the concept or the experience of fear and the experience of power, by simply first and foremost seeing or experiencing or understanding the sensation of fear as simply energy, as power itself, so that you can make a transition between that frequency that allows you to experience it fearfully and transition to an experience of having it feel like power, like energy coursing through you. We have, to some degree, talked about this a little bit before, about neutralizing the idea of fear by seeing it and experiencing it and understanding it simply as energy, so that you can shift that energy into whatever frequency you prefer. But here we're again attempting to get a stronger association in your mind between the idea of experiencing fear and experiencing your power, to recognize it as a flow of power through you. And therefore, in being able to understand that it's coming from you, to be able to really begin to sense that it's your power simply being filtered through a fear-based belief, you can begin to equate, more often than not, the idea that the more fear you feel, the more power you experience of your power, the more of it you experience. And then by starting to think of it as power and not really relating to it in the flavor, in the frequency it's being presented to you as fear, but only relating to it as a sensation of power, you can begin to remember that you are always empowered, never really disempowered, that you're using your power to create an experience of disempowerment. But since you know it's your energy and it's not really coming from anyone else or anywhere else, not in terms of how you experience it, then you can decide in that moment, when you feel great fear, to start thinking of it as power coursing through you. And the stronger the fear, the stronger the power, so that you begin to relate to it simply as power. And once you really begin to relate to fear as power, you will change the sensation the more you practice this, and it will really start to shift into a positive sense of power and self-empowerment, and a realization that you've always been self-empowered, and that all the effects and all the energy and all the experiences you've ever had in your life have always been made out of your own energy, because there's nothing else within you to allow you to experience things in any other way. You have to align, you have to agree, consciously or unconsciously, with the idea of anything being presented to you as a frequency from anyone else or any other source in order for you to experience it. Otherwise, it's invisible to you. There's no sensation, no experience whatsoever, no matter how many times another being or another source may offer or send to you a particular energy, a vibration, a frequency that they may be giving off. You will not be capable and are not capable of experiencing it in any way, shape, or form. It will be completely intangible, completely invisible to you, until you, consciously or unconsciously, make a choice to match that frequency or not match that frequency in order to experience it or not experience it in your life. Because everything, no exceptions, that you experience in your reality is made out of your energy. It's all yours. You own it, and you can do anything you wish with it. And the more you remember that fear is power, when you just think of it as energy and shift it into the positive side, then the greatest fear you experience in your life or have ever experienced in your life will give you a clue as to how powerful you are, how much power courses through you, how much energy courses through you. And you can change the frequency in whatever way you wish by your imaginary dial or whatever technique or permission slip you wish. But the first realization is that no matter what you feel, even if it is fear, that is an indication of the power coursing through you that you have at your disposal to use in any way you so prefer. So just begin to make that association, that linkage between the idea of fear as power, and as soon as you start really thinking of it that way, as often as you can, anytime you feel the fear, it will start to subside from the fearful frequency and start to shift over into the frequency of the recognition that you are completely connected, completely empowered. And then you can direct that frequency in any way, shape, or form you wish toward your passion and allow that much power to course through you in the actions that you take in applying the passion in your life as best as you possibly can. Now remember that this information is not only coming to you verbally, but is also coming to you through the idea of a frequency of energy that we are giving off, not only through the channel's body, but through the electronics that you are experiencing in this remote session. But again, you can't feel the frequency we are giving you unless you decide to match it. So the idea for you is to hear that bell, hear that call, hear that synchronous reminder that wakes you up to the moment when you realize that the greatest fear you're feeling is also the greatest power, and allow yourself to utilize it in that way. So we thank you for allowing yourselves to match whatever level of the frequency you so desire to match that we are sending to you, so that you always know you have a reminder embedded, if you wish, in the very fabric of the space-time you are experiencing, that is always there for you to tap into and match that frequency according to your choices, according to your preferences, so that you always know you have this information right with you, wherever you are, whenever you are, every moment of your life. We thank you for allowing us to share this idea with you this day, and in return for the gift you have given us in allowing us to experience you in this co-creation, we ask, how now may we be of continued service to you? Please begin with your dialogues and your questions if you wish.
You said in your last transmission, you mentioned in 2023 marks our full integration cycle of communicating with you in this way.
Yes.
Can we get a glimpse of what that next level of communication might look like?
The next level of communication will be focused on the idea of preparing for the beginning of the window of open contact. The information that we have been delivering for 37 years of your time and will have delivered for 40 years of your time at the end of your year of 2023 will need to change. And the information as we have delivered it will only be being delivered by the channel himself. The idea then is we must move on beyond the cycle to deliver different information in different ways about preparation for open contact for those who are in alignment with it, because there will only then be 1 year between the ending of the cycle and the beginning of the window of open contact. So it'll be important for us to focus on that at that time, and only that.
Okay.
If all of you will allow yourselves to become very relaxed and let go of the cares of the day, and just for this moment allow yourselves to simply pay attention to the idea of the energy within yourselves. Just allow yourselves to feel it or hear it or sense it in whatever way works for you. And should you accompany these ideas that we are about to share with music and light and sound and images, we will leave that up to you. But no matter what that is and how it plays out for you, allow yourselves to begin to become more sensitive to the idea that you are a conduit of energy, a conduit for energy, passing through you from source to your reality experience, being stepped down like a transformer through your belief systems in your physical mind, though it may bounce off from the higher mind to the heart mind to the physical mind, allow yourselves simply to feel it now as nothing more than the coursing of waves of energy through you. The vibrational frequencies that you feel coursing through your body just as pure energy, not being translated one way or another in negative or positive vibrations, but just the neutral sense of energy moving in waves or vibrations or frequencies through your body as an open channel, an open conduit for that energy, for that form and expression of consciousness. And as you allow yourself to feel this energy moving through you, whether it creates a sensation of coolness, whether it creates a sensation of warmth, matters not. Allow it to manifest physiologically in whatever way seems the path of least resistance, for the whole idea now is to allow there to be no resistance to this energy whatsoever. Become a superconductive and hyperconductive conduit so that this energy simply passes through you unimpeded, very smoothly, very easily, very effortlessly, just feeling the beauty of the vibrations within you, like a cosmic massage for every single molecule and atom and subatomic particle, cell in your body, vibrating, almost musical in the idea of the sounds that it may create within your mind and imagination. A tone, a beauty, a music of the spheres, an angelic chorus of vibratory energy, the song of existence itself, the song of unconditional love itself, the vibration of grace and harmony and beauty itself, of appreciation and gratitude itself, just coursing through you, pulsing through you. Let yourself just feel it move. And as you do so, allow yourself to key into the idea, just the recognition, just the awareness, but not necessarily the experience, that now and then this energy will be filtered, will flow through certain belief systems that are out of alignment, that are fear-based with who you prefer to be, and that in that instance, it will take on a different quality. This is just an awareness, this is just an observation. You don't necessarily have to experience it right now, but if you do, go with the flow, it's all right. You will still retain your observational awareness, even if you choose to experience this a little bit as the actual sensation of fear and negativity. It's all right. But allow yourself to know that you are seeing, you are experiencing, you are observing this energy actually flowing through a conduit of your being now, that in containing, in discovering the idea of a negative belief that is out of alignment, you can see, you can observe the idea of the conduit kind of closing in, tightening, twisting in a way that is not allowing the flow to be constant, that is not allowing the flow to be unimpeded, that is creating protrusions into it, that interrupts and disrupts the flow in a way that creates a new vibration, a vibration that is out of alignment, that is dissonant with the vibration of your true, pure self. So as you see this happening, and you see the conduit tightening even more, and the fear vibration increasing within you, just observe it as a frequency shift, as a frequency change. But even as you do observe this change, you also know that this is your energy, this is your power. The power itself doesn't diminish. It may seem to. It may seem to create the idea of disempowerment, but it's only being altered in a way and in a form that takes on the flavor, the quality, the frequency of disempowerment, but the actual surge of power never diminishes. It remains constant, flowing through you, but now with the idea of the impediment of the negative belief, the discord, the disalignment of the negative belief, It simply now has to force its way around these impediments like water having to go around rocks in the rapid. It's not smoothly flowing now, but churning. And yet at the same time, it's the same amount of power. It's creating the rapids. That's why the rapids are there, is because the same amount of power is behind it. And forcing its way through with resistance now, creating this upheaval of the rapids within you that feels like the idea of unsettlement and fear and anxiety and discontent and discord and disconnection and disempowerment, but only because it's not being channeled in a continuous flowing way. But it's the same amount of power, which is why the rapids are there. So as you now experience this churning of the rapids being pushed by the same amount of pressure and flow, that is power, coming through you, and as you now allow yourself to relax the idea of the negative concepts, and you see the conduit that you are opening up again, and the intrusions softening and disappearing back into the walls of the conduit, and it widening and allowing the flow to come through unimpeded with no resistance, again, you can see it's the same amount of power, but now the flow seems easier and smoother. It has its own speed, but it appears to be calmer because there is now a depth to it. There is now a width to it. You are now allowing more of it through in an easier manner, so it doesn't have to be forced under pressure to go through it at the same speed. It's always been the same speed, but it's only the imposition of the negative vibration that seems to make it more like rapids and unsettled and churning and foaming and frothing within you. So as you allow yourself to let go of those negative filters, as you allow the conduit to widen and soften and expand, the same flow is there, but now it is not running into any impediments. It is not having to churn and froth. It is not having to go around and over and under the rocks. There is now nothing in its way. And it flows smoothly through you. And you feel the ease of that flow, and the beauty of that flow, and the sensations of expansion that come with that flow, and the sensations of possibility and probability that expand with that flow, and the information and the knowledge about yourself that comes with that flow, and the ease and beauty and grace and gratitude and deep appreciation of your being that comes with that flow, with no resistance to your natural self. Allow yourselves to breathe that in and feel that energy flow and understand the relationship between fear and power and grace and light. And it's all the same energy. It's all your energy in different modalities, in different expressions, at different times, in different ways, on different days and different nights. But it's all you that you're feeling. It's all you. And whatever you decide to mirror and match, whatever impediments and ideas that you choose to impose within the conduit that prevents it from flowing more freely, that turns it into the rapids of churn and dissonance, you can always relax and understand that as you simply relax into more of yourself and let go of those fear-based beliefs that don't serve you, you open that conduit wider and wider and allow that same power to flow more freely and calmly and effortlessly through you, so that you do not feel any resistance whatsoever to yourself. This is being your true self, which is really the easiest thing to be. Allow yourself the freedom to be you, the freedom to flow, so that your flow can show you where you need to go by just following and flowing with the current that you are within the ocean of creation. Allow yourselves the freedom to drift and dream upon this flow, this current, this day, this night of your time. Relax and go with the flow. Your flow knows exactly where you need to go. Do not resist being yourself. That is where the treasures lie. That is where the beauty is found. That is where all the secrets are hiding. That's where the mystery will unfold. And you will discover yourself in the unknown as you flow freely as yourself and allow that energy and that stream to flow through you in an unimpeded conduit of the being that you are and the theme you chose to explore and the experience that will enlighten and illuminate you to more and more of who you truly can be. Continue to breathe easily and deeply and just feel that energy resonate within every cell of your body, every molecule, every atom, and every subatomic particle. You are energy. You are the energy of all that is, expressing itself through the conduit of your unique reflection, your unique self. Go with the flow. Be at peace. Continue to breathe and vibrate in accord to who you know yourself to be. Relax, enjoy, be at peace, and welcome home. Our unconditional love to you all. Sweet dreams, sweet dreams, sweet dreams.